So you want to be rich. You watch every single YouTube videos on the best ways to make money online. And your For You page on TikTok is filled with luxury lifestyle videos and financial podcasts. The truth is that most videos that claim to teach you how to become wealthy only tell you a bunch of stuff that you should be doing, but they never address the fact that it's the things that you already do that sink your ship. These people assume that you're not doing enough already as it is, so they just instruct you to add a bunch of things to your to-do list. But what they never tell you is that success is about what you keep, not about what you make. Let's say that you made $1 million this year with your online business. Now that sounds great on paper, but what if you spent $3 million to make that $1 million? You just lost $2 million. Do you seriously think that the guy making $1 million a year, but who spends it all on meaningless things, who becomes a slave to his lifestyle and to other people's perception of him, do you seriously think that this guy is wealthier than another guy who makes nowhere near the same amount of money, but who lives a life of freedom and of abundance, without being a slave to his lifestyle or to his business? I genuinely believe that we overvalue money instead of valuing freedom. There are plenty of overworked CEOs and professionals who make a lot of money. They make 6 figures a year, sometimes even 7 figures a year. So on the outside, it might look like they have the perfect life, but in reality, they've become enslaved to their work and to their lifestyle. And very often, these people are suffering deep down. They're not happy. This is why in this video, I want to share with you the 3 things that you should stay away from if you want to become rich. And also, you have to know that the things that I'm going to share with you in this video, those are all things that I apply myself. The first thing that you should avoid if your goal is to become rich are relationships. Now, I don't mean that you shouldn't or that you can't have relationships with people. In fact, there's a subtlety here. There's only a certain type of relationship that you should avoid in reality. I don't know about you, but back when I was still in school, I had some acquaintances. I don't actually refer to them as friends because we were never really that close. We didn't have that much in common. They had so much potential. But guess what? They completely ruined their potential by hanging out with the wrong crowd. I'm sure that you've heard before that you are the sum average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. I will tell you from my own experience that 99.9% of the time, I've found this to be absolutely applicable to most people. If tomorrow 5 multi-millionaires knocked at your door and asked you if you wanted to join their friend group, what would you say? If you agreed to become their friend, I can almost guarantee that you would soon become a multi-millionaire yourself. Studies have shown that children with 2 obese parents are 10 to 12 times more likely to become obese as well. As human beings, we are social creatures. Before the birth of modern civilization, as we know it today, we used to live in tribes. It would be foolish to think that other people don't influence us, that our environment, our surroundings don't influence us in any way, shape or form. That said, I know a lot of people, especially teenagers, younger people, watching this video right now, and they're worried because they're not essentially in control of their environment. They're not in an environment that is primed for maximum growth. Maybe they still live with their parents, for instance. The thing that you have to realize is that even though your environment greatly influences you, you still get a vote. In life, the way that we react to things matters a lot more than what actually happens to us. Let's say that Bob and Joan, 2 twin brothers, have an abusive alcoholic father. Bob goes on to become a very successful businessman and to build a lovely and caring family. On the other hand, John falls into depression and turns to alcohol as a way to self-medicate. One day, a reporter decides to interview the 2 twin brothers. The reporter starts by asking Bob what happened. Bob replies, "I watched my father. I knew I had to do better." The reporter then goes on to see John and asks him the same question. "What happened?" John replies, "I watched my father." As you can see, the 2 twin brothers had the same father. The only thing that was different was their perspective, the way that they viewed the situation. One went on to use his difficult childhood as fuel to become successful, while the other did the complete opposite. Somebody who values themselves will not entertain relationships that are abusive, toxic, or draining. People who disrespect you, people who mock you for having big goals, big ambitions, people who love to find every possible thing to criticize about you. Those people are not your friends. Cut them out of your life, and I can guarantee that your life is only going to get better from there. Now, the other thing that you should really avoid if you want to become very rich, and it's going to be especially relatable for younger people and for teenagers, is the partying, drinking, clubbing lifestyle. And yes, I know that for a lot of people, this can seem very fun at first, because they're in their first year of university, and for the first time in their life, they're living away from their parents. They're having a taste of what freedom feels like. But the thing that you don't realize is that you are robbing your future self of an incredible future. I'm probably going to receive a lot of hate for saying what I'm about to say, because sadly, people don't like to hear harsh truths, but I want to be totally transparent with you, and my advice is based on my own experience of life. I don't claim that it's an absolute truth, and I genuinely want to help you to build the life that you've always dreamed of. But the truth is that while you're out there partying, drinking, clubbing, there's another guy who decided to work his ass off. While you're out there getting drunk, there's another guy studying hard for the next exam so he can become a doctor and provide for his future family. While you're wasting your time in a club, there's another guy working his ass off on his online business so that he can build himself the life that he wants. I know that for a lot of people, alcohol is a real problem, and they use it as a way to self-medicate. The issue with using alcohol as a crutch or as a way to self-medicate is that it doesn't actually fix the underlying issue. Studies have shown that 40 to 60% of people relapse within 30 days of leaving a treatment center. They're being given all of these different techniques and mantras in order to quote-unquote cure themselves. But drinking is not the real problem. It's the symptom of the problem. The biggest issue that we have with modern medicine is that we often treat symptoms instead of treating the actual root cause. Think about it. This makes more money. If we treat the root cause, patients don't have to pay for medications anymore. They don't have to pay for psychologists, for doctors, because they're cured. Believe it or not, but it's not in their best interest to heal you and to fix your problems. Alcohol won't be easy to give up like any other substance, and the road to recovery is a long and tedious process, but I genuinely believe that if you are watching this video right now and you self-medicate with alcohol or any other substance, you will find a way to put an end to it. I know a few people myself who used to be alcoholics, and after many years of struggle and of perseverance, they managed to break free. If they did it, I genuinely believe that you can do it too. If you're on the road to recovery, I'm sending you my best wishes. Now, the other thing that you need to give up if you truly want to become rich is keeping up with appearances. I'll be completely honest with you in this video. It's something that I struggled with for so long. I used to try my hardest to seem perfect because I was led to believe that if you were not perfection itself, you would be considered as nothing. I mean, with social media nowadays, it seems like if you're not a 20-year-old billionaire with a six-pack abs and 15 girlfriends, that you're a complete loser. But what kind of world is that? Over the years, the thing that I came to realize is that perfection is a myth. It's a lie. The definition of perfection that you will find in most dictionaries is something that is devoid of flaws, meaning it doesn't have any flaws. So many people in the dating scene are trying to find what they consider to be their perfect partner, their ideal partner. Like, people are often going to say, oh, I want my partner to look like this, I want them to behave like this or to do this. But funny enough, I've never heard anyone talk about the kind of flaws that they would want to have in a partner. Yet the person that you're going to date, or that you date currently, they are going to be flawed in some way, shape or form. Finding the perfect partner isn't about finding someone with no flaws, because you will just end up alone since no one could ever meet that requirement. Rather, it's about asking yourself, what flaws am I willing to deal with? So bottom line, perfection is not something with zero flaws. It's something with flaws that you are able to accept and to live with. So when I came to terms with the fact that I will forever be imperfect and that everyone and everything in this world is going to be forever imperfect, it freed me. I know that you'll often see me posting nice pictures on Instagram, like fancy restaurants, nice cars, beautiful locations, etc. But if I'm being honest with you, if it were just for me, I wouldn't even be on Instagram in the first place. I post this kind of stuff because I know that this is what people want to see. However, I also downplay my lifestyle a lot because I don't think that you should be out there sharing everything about your personal life on social media, and I also don't want to become a slave to other people's perception of me, just like I don't want to become a slave to my lifestyle. And I also don't base my own self-worth off of what I think other people are going to think about me. And the reason why I say what I think other people are going to think of me is because you can never know for sure what somebody else is thinking about you. And if you're playing the game of constantly comparing yourself to other people, you better be ready for the fact that you're never gonna win. The game of being better than other people is unwinnable. There's always going to be someone with more money than you or someone who has something that you don't. And a very sad thing that happens to a lot of very wealthy people, and this especially happens to young guys who managed to build a successful online business, is that they constantly need other people's validation in order to feel good about themselves, so they constantly upgrade their lifestyle to pretend that they are larger than life itself. I think it's very sad when someone is rich, so they managed to gain their freedom in a way, but they're going to buy this big mansion that they don't even like just so that people appreciate them, just because they want other people to praise them. True freedom, true wealth, it's buying the house that you want, the car that you want, even if it's not the most expensive and even if it's not the most attention grabbing. The best thing that can happen to you is when you reach the point where you quite frankly don't care about what other people think, because you don't have anything to prove to other people. You live for you, not for what other people are going to think. You have to understand that there is nothing to prove. It's your life at the end of the day. Don't go broke by trying to impress people whose name you don't even know. So I genuinely believe that if you stay away from the 3 things that we talked about in this video, your chances of becoming very wealthy shoot through the roof. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and with that said, I will see you in the next one.